Black Clover is back with 3 new action-packed chapters. The title of chapter 374 is Demon God, so you already know it's gonna be a good one. The color spread features a twofold sibling reunion between the Yami clan survivors and the Foss family twins as autumn leaves fall. Previously, Paladin Morgan revealed his light and dark dual magic affinity. His power output was far too much for Yami to handle. His own darkness was easily devoured. Morgan carved into his former partner's body. As Yami fell back, Morgan apologized for becoming the strongest magic knight by his lonesome. But shadowy hands emerged before Yami could totally collapse. Vice Captain Nacht and Ichika are here to stand in Morgan's way. They immediately went on the attack. Now, Morgan didn't hesitate to intercept them. He was pleased to see his twin brother. Nacht hesitated. He felt a cold chill at the sight. Ichika looked over her shoulder. She only just realized that the dying man behind her is her brother. The anti-magic cloaks that they received from Asta were recognized as a true threat. So as former members of the Grey Deer, Lucius proposed that he and Morgan take their enemies on together. Nacht called upon each of his devil companions to help him face his paladin brother and a perfect clone of the supreme devil-infused Wizard King. He created a mana zone, dark prison hunting ground. Lucius casually observed the dark tendrils with a passive smile on his face. Nacht shouted at Ichika to do something about her brother while he keeps the divine duo busy. Captain Yami was not doing well at all. He was beginning to hallucinate and see Ichika as he remembered her from childhood, but the key he sensed was all too real. Ichika rushed to her brother's aid. She yelled at Yami to get a hold of himself. Yami couldn't believe what he saw. He asked her how she made it all the way to the Clover Kingdom. She explained that the Black Bulls used their magic to bring her and Asta from the Land of the Sun. Yami was relieved to know that Asta was still alive after all, and impressed that the Black Bulls managed to bring him back. Ichika hesitated. Then she apologized. Now she knows the truth about what happened to their clan and the reason behind his departure. Yami only killed their father after he'd gone insane. In reality, she was the one who slaughtered their clan. A reverse Uchiha massacre, if you will. Yami took the blame for what she did and left their homeland. He sacrificed everything for her, and she was totally oblivious until just recently. She even resented him. For that, she sincerely apologized. Yami smiled and told her that there's no need for that. He asked Ryuya to help him back then. We flash back to a young shogun-to-be bidding his best friend farewell. Yami told him not to worry. Although he was leaving, Yami also planned on becoming really strong and living the life he wants. Meanwhile, Ichika was asleep during their conversation. Yami promised that he would come back when Ryuya becomes the shogun. Ryuya agreed. Both he and Ichika would be waiting for him. Even now, Yami is very grateful to his friend. Yami's wounds were terrible. At this rate, he was going to die. So Ichika pulled out something that Ryuya told her to give him in case of emergency. She was stunned by the contents of the bag. It was a single demon soul pill. This is the very same drug that made her lose control and slaughter their clan. She wondered why her lord would want to give him such a thing. Yami exhaled once more. He knew what needed to be done. The captain concluded that this was Ryuya saying he can handle its effects now. So Yami popped the pill without a second thought, and things immediately began to change. Ichika cried out when his hand fell. Energy surged within. In the past, Yami's father explained that the Demon Soul pill grants its user an explosive boost in bloodlust and latent yoyoku. That's their way of saying mana or magic power if you forgot. But Yami knows that that is not entirely the case. His power continued to grow. The pill doesn't actually add to a person's impulse to kill. Their physical abilities just go berserk, and this leads to insanity. Yami's chest wound rapidly closed. No one in their clan was ever able to control it. Ichika could see that the exponential boost to her brother's yoyoku was also healing his body. She called out to him as he fought back the madness. Yami wondered what would happen if he manages to stay sane. Overhead, Lucius broke through the dark mass and Ichika's blood ran cold. The host of Astaroth realized that he hasn't properly met Yami's sister despite owing much to her brother, so he decided to greet her. The madman splintered the ground with his descent, forcing Ichika to quickly move her sibling. Lucius then extended a hand as he bid her farewell. One touch would be more than enough to finish things. But another hand appeared before then. Yami reflected on the fact that all he could do for his sister in the past was shoulder her burden. But things are different now. He placed a gentle hand on her head. Demon god Yami held her close as he lifted his katana to strike at the holy fiend. He cut straight through him with a single decisive slash. This time around, Yami vows to properly protect her instead. Ichika could only look at her big brother with astonishment written all over her face. Minutes before then, Noct faced the divine duo by his lonesome. He took note of his brother's new form along with the dark magic he now wields. From that alone, he could tell that Lucifuges was the one controlling him, the same supreme devil that killed his entire family. The vice captain gritted his teeth. Shadows billowed as he concluded the man in front of him isn't Morgan anymore. It's up to him to defeat his late twin and Lucius's clone. He combined Gallus, Felis, and Canis to become a raging shadow dragon. He'll win this even at the expense of his own life. The duo charged amidst the darkness. They converged as Noct made his ascent. Their battle produced a dazzling light show. Morgan looked at his brother with pity in his eyes. He can tell that Noct is in the midst of emotional turmoil. He knocked his twin back and realized that Noct still blames himself for what happened to their family. So, as an act of divine mercy, he would be the one to set him free. In the present, Yami successfully took down Lucius's clone. Lucius was impressed by the incredible strength the man still possessed, but Yami wasn't interested in the invader's praise, especially since he was using Julius's face to do so. Lucius laughed. Although he and Yami are strong, he knows for a fact that Morgan is currently stronger than them both. Light ruptured the dark mass. Noct began to plummet. Ichika was stunned. Noct had Asta's anti-magic backing him up, and it still wasn't enough. But Yami could tell that there's more to it than just that. They watched Noct continue to fall. As a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom, and as the vice captain of the Black Bulls, Noct knows that he has to defeat Morgan. But despite knowing that, he's already killed his brother once before. Tears welled up in his eyes. He couldn't bear to kill him again. Noct cursed himself. He thought he used up all his tears when Morgan died. His paladin twin proposed that they start over together. Then Morgan propelled a beam of light in Noct's direction. Yami batted it away to protect his friend. It destroyed everything in its path. Morgan was surprised by Yami's sudden interruption. Even Noct was impressed by his captain's ability to so quickly defeat one of Lucius's clones. They landed on a flood of shadows. Yami let the noble know that now isn't the time for tears. He tried to say that Morgan is already gone, but Noct cut him off. He is already well aware of the truth. But even still, it was just too much. This time, Yami cut in. He asked Noct if he was going to let Morgan kill people. Noct's eyes widened. Yami continued to say that Morgan lived to save others and was as good gets. But he is dead now. He reminded Noct of his vow to shoulder that very sin for the rest of his life. So his vice captain needed to be the one to stop his brother. With that said, he scolded his friend for being so helpless by his lonesome. But with a smile, he reassured Noct that he is not alone. They will fight the paladin together. Noct gritted his teeth. Morgan blurred. He rushed towards the two as they suddenly separated. The paladin surged through two buildings as Ichika cried out for her brother. Yami admitted that the one who really makes him sick is Lucius. He's doing all these terrible things with Wizard King Julius's face, and now he's even desecrating the dead to do so. Yami crossed swords with his former partner and let Morgan know that he could never forget him. But now, there is only one thing he can do for his late friend. Morgan moved back as Yami summoned the strongest Black Moon he has ever created. He will put Morgan down so the saint can rest in peace. Noct reflected on a reoccurring dream of his, one where instead of envying his brother, he joined the Grey Deer alongside him, where he and his childhood friend Yami fight over Morgan. All the while, Morgan just brightens the world with that same old smile of his. Then, Noct wakes up and is left in despair. And that is precisely what he now sees in the waking world: despair and destruction. Morgan doesn't approve of Yami's unfavorable view of Lucius. He claims that his master will save the world and bring true peace. Yami responded by swinging his sword. Dark Cloak Dimension Slash! Morgan negated the attack with his own darkness, a bit of the absolute magic and power Lucius gave him. Yami knows that dark magic is especially good at devouring whatever it encounters. This great power is wielded in tandem with Morgan's inherent light magic, the combination of which is the magic of creation itself. With it, he intends to clear the way to the ideal world. Several beams were released simultaneously. Yami noticed them and braced himself against the onslaught. Morgan's attack moved at the speed of light. The best Yami could do was block them with the help of his Black Moon. There were no openings for him to exploit. They say that light shines brightest in the darkness. At this point, Morgan is even stronger than Lucius. The mighty paladin wondered how much longer Yami would be able to last. Noct shakily said the names of the two people he cares the most about. Ichika joined him. She admitted that she doesn't know much about his connection to her brother, but she heard a few things from Asta. That after her brother protected her and left her home, even in a foreign land he knew nothing about, he was able to inspire all manner of people. Noct reflected on his own situation with the man, back when Yami gave him a reason to continue living. Ichika regretted the fact that she nearly made her brother shoulder everything by his lonesome yet again. She summoned her dark Yojutsu. She's not just going to sit around and be helpless. She is a warrior. Noct was impacted by her words. Yami could only avoid the countless beams of light. Morgan cut the distance in an instant and left Yami reeling. Morgan is just way too fast. It was time for the paladin to finish things. Another barrage converged on the captain's location, but every attack was repelled by Ichika's Black Star Dark Yojutsu. She told Yami that she didn't come all this way to be protected. She is here to help and will fight alongside him. Yami smiled after recognizing his sister's growth. He happily explained that even if they don't look alike, their Yojutsu and magic have quite the resemblance. Back to back, the Yami siblings created a dark combo spell, Black Heavens. Together, they were able to go on the offensive. At least now, they can divert the beams of light. Morgan was delighted while the Yami siblings raged. Elsewhere, Noct apologized. He knows he was just trying to take the easy way out by telling himself he may die at any time. Tears do not signify the end of a sin. Noct combined the powers of all his devils: Gallus, Felis, Canis, Equus. Yami smiled while telling his partner that he's late. Noct came to their aid in his own Dark Paladin form. He apologized for keeping his captain waiting. Shadows extended from everywhere. Morgan was overjoyed. This was what he spoke of all those years ago. His brother Noct is the one with the greatest talent for magic. The twins collided. A complex series of magical collisions ensued. Dark magic on shadow magic. Walpurgis Night! Noct, Yami, and Ichika bellowed a simultaneous battle cry. Morgan was impressed, but for the sake of everyone smiling in true peace, for the glory of what he and Yami could accomplish together, for the dream he held in regards to his brother, Paladin Morgan resolved himself to surpass them all by his lonesome. But in his current state, he clearly doesn't understand the power of friendship. Yami and Ichika cleared the way for Noct, because the brighter the light, the deeper the shadow it casts. Noct impaled his brother with his oversized shadow blade. Sadly, he bid his beloved brother farewell. Noct will shoulder this pain forever. Finally, each of Lucius's paladin minions has been defeated. Now it is up to Asta to face Lucius in heaven. Then again, we still haven't seen Adramelech make a move just yet. There are also the remaining Lucius clones to be dealt with. Vanessa and Gray are facing one of them. Gauche, Rill, and Marie are dealing with another one. And Gordon, Charlotte, and William are doing the same elsewhere. Hopefully we get another 3-chapter bundle like this one, so we can knock each of those battles out in one go. Let us know what you think about Yami and Nox's new forms in the comments. As always, I'm Sliceable Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.